twinkle. Nothing rhymes with winkle. Pump, pump. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cat. Words of wisdom. Drop that zero and get with the hero.
But I really didn't know what to, what to expect.
You lie about your background.
I mean, that's all old news. I didn't lie about
But
nothing.
I haven't.
All I heard was like Ice Ice Baby. And I knew all these stones was being thrown at him. And I'm like, that song is whack. But why are all these stones really being thrown at him?
I was young, manipulated, and I was a puppet.
Who would have thought? Vanilla Ice, the guy everyone used to clown on, is now dropping bombs about why he really disappeared from the scene. And honey, it's way darker than you ever imagined. For years, people just labeled him as another one-hit wonder, a flash in the pan, someone who couldn't handle the real rap game. But now, the truth is crashing out like an avalanche, and it's messy. Word is, Ice wasn't just pushed out because of musical trends. Oh no, he was being targeted, allegedly, by some of the biggest, most powerful figures in the music industry. The same ones we've heard whispers about for years. The ritual parties, the sacrifices, the dark games, but Vanilla Ice? He said no. Flat out refused to dance with the devil, and for that, he paid a price, but also saved his soul. Before he got out, though, Ice claims he went through some insane, life-threatening moments that could have ended very differently. So how did he pull off the escape that so many other artists couldn't? And just how close did he come to being another industry sacrifice? Grab your tea, because we're diving into the untold story of how Vanilla Ice walked away from the dark side of fame, and why it might have been the smartest move of his entire life. Let's break it all down, how the industry almost chewed him up.
All my dreams that I thought were dreams turned out to be nightmares. And I figured out the biggest value and purpose in life is that it has nothing to do with money or buying all these things.
In the early 90s, Vanilla Ice wasn't just another rapper. He was the face of pop rap. He exploded onto the scene with Ice Ice Baby, and just as quickly, poof, gone. Everyone, and I mean everyone, chalked it up to bad music, bad timing, or just plain bad luck. But new reports are saying, nope, that wasn't the whole story. Behind the scenes, Ice was allegedly getting dragged into a world way darker than just bad contracts or fading fame. They were allegedly trying to initiate him into that same depraved circle we now hear other artists talking about, the same twisted club connected to industry secrets nobody's supposed to talk about. He said no and disappeared.
Having relationships with guys? No. Was I doing things with guys that would probably be deemed to be gay?
The message of the devil. It's a spiritual war. So what happens is, in order for that artist to be in position to even mislead the people, they have to be worthy. This is hazing. This is the hazing aspect of it. In order to climb the ladder in the music industry, you have to be hazed. And when you're getting hazed, you're getting f***ed in your ass.
You think you say like basically
this homosexual ritual? I'm saying.
How does the industry situation turn you into a man? It really didn't. If anything, it tried to take man's stripes from me.
Recently, those reports have blown wide open. At the peak of his fame, Vanilla Ice was reportedly approached by the music gatekeepers, the big dogs, the ones who run the scene from the shadows. And guess what they wanted? To invite him into those infamous secret parties. Yes, those parties, just like the ones now linked to Diddy. And Vanilla Ice? He didn't play along, not even a little. He saw through the fakeness, the manipulation, the darkness, and instead of selling out, he simply walked away, gone. Outside, no explanation, no goodbyes, just silence. Diddy, freak-offs, and dark mentorships.
This is a quote that you said in one of your interviews. You said, at one point in my life, I didn't even know who I was, what my purpose was. I didn't want to live anymore. With hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, I didn't give a shit about life. Who I am today is a complete flip the script opposite of that, and just super grateful, man, for my family, for my kids. And that's the meaning of life, man, the true meaning of life.
100%. We can go around as a young person in this globe and see life in a different way. And then you know what happens is, I shook this whole globe up, you know, like a snow globe. I shook it up. And you think reality is what you see in front of you, and then the snow globe kind of settles a little bit, and then you find out that none of it was real. It was all artificial. It's all just entertainment world. It's all on how people view you, even you. And you find your purpose, you find out who you are. And I didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? Like, I know Justin Bieber could definitely use some advice.
Yeah.
Lost. Because with all the success, nobody that, especially with what happened to me, 10 times even bigger than Bieber because, or anybody, because of being me and white and who I am. And at the time, it was something far more impactful, if that makes any sense, for people to hate on or take a punch at or anything, right? So it was a groundbreaking thing that really was and probably could have killed me in many, many ways. Not just the Suge Knight way but suicidal way, to the point where all my dreams that I thought were dreams turned out to be nightmares.
Now, let's get one thing straight. Diddy didn't invent the freak-off parties. When Vanilla Ice was blowing up, Diddy was still behind the scenes, learning the ropes. Allegedly, Diddy himself got initiated later, trained by the same mentors who first tried to sink their hooks into Ice. After Ice Ice Baby exploded, Vanilla Ice became a prime target. Executives like Charles Koppelman, who was super tight with Clive Davis, Diddy's future mentor, had Ice firmly on their radar. To them, Vanilla Ice wasn't a person. He was a cash cow, a puppet, a trophy to control. But Ice, he wasn't having it. He sensed what was coming. And before they could pull him in too deep, he bailed. He ghosted the industry just like that. But it wasn't without serious risks. And Ice himself has hinted he barely survived the fallout. They wanted to control him like a puppet behind closed doors.
You know, the time that Whitney died, that night when we were at my Grammy party, and it was Puffy. It really was Puffy, Diddy, all of the, and for him to so articulately why we were there together, why the party had to go on, why the musical community had to be joined together. Very touching, very special.
Those execs allegedly weren't just looking for talent, they were looking for people to own. Vanilla Ice, still young and fresh, was being pushed toward those dark rituals we now associate with Hollywood horror stories. But he wasn't blind. He knew something was off. Before they could entrap him, Ice took a massive risk. He pulled the plug. He ghosted the industry. He disappeared when he was at the absolute top of his game. But make no mistake, it wasn't easy. And there were more than a few close calls. To understand how crazy it got, you gotta go back to where it all started. So the wild rise of Vanilla Ice. Before he was a target for shady executives, Ice, real name Robert Matthew Van Winkle, was just a kid with a dream. He got discovered in 1987 by DJ Floyd Earthquake Brown after performing at a grimy South Dallas club called City Lights. 2 years later, boom. He dropped his first major label album, To the Extreme, which sold a jaw-dropping 15 million copies globally, faster than any album since Prince's Purple Rain. And Ice Ice Baby, the first rap song ever to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Ice wasn't just a rapper, he was a pop culture event. Even Hollywood couldn't resist. By 1991, Ice made his big screen debut in Cool as Ice. He was everywhere, and that's exactly when the wolves started circling. Madonna wanted him bad.
This sleepy little town is about to become cool as ice.
Drop it. What the hell is that? Drop that zero and get with the hero.
It wasn't just the music world obsessed with Vanilla Ice. Even Madonna, yes, the Madonna, was apparently so into him that she literally proposed marriage. Imagine being in your early 20s, barely understanding how fame even works, and Madonna is asking for a ring. Insane, right? But Ice turned her down. He was young, ambitious, and determined to do things his way, loyal to one woman, until it fell apart.
She even proposed to me. I mean, things were going so crazy and fast, man. I was just like, what? I thought the guy was supposed to do that. What do you mean? Wait a minute. This is too fast. I'm just getting started here, and I'm way too young for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was crazy. The more I think about it, the more crazy it was.
Unlike most rock stars who used fame to collect a laundry list of celebrity hookups, Ice kept it low-key. He married Laura Garita in 1997, and they stayed married for almost 2 decades. In Hollywood years, that's basically a miracle. They had 2 daughters together, living that rare, normal life, until 2016, when Laura filed for divorce, accusing Ice of cutting her off financially and hiding money. Messy ending, sure, but still, Ice actually tried to keep it real in a world built on fakeness. The hate came hard and fast.
I had an in-store, which is called an autograph signing party in Miami. And this place only holds the record store is called Specs, and it only holds 500 people. And there's 5,000 people showed up. All hanging out in the mall, hanging outside, inside, completely packed. And I had 3 security guards, plus the mall security, which was about 7 of them. So there's about 10 security guards all together. And I go, okay, come up next. Whoever wants to come next, get a autograph. Wow. The whole crowd. I mean, they ripped. I had my MTV shirt on and everything, and they ripped it completely off. My censorship shirt, ripped it completely off. Broke my watch on the concrete. The security guards had to drag me out of there because the girls had hold of my pants and I couldn't walk, and I was just getting dragged this way and pulled this way. It was incredible. It was terrible. They wrote on the limo with a marker, "We love you, Vanilla Ice," on an all-white limousine with a magic marker that doesn't, a permanent marker.
At just 23, Vanilla Ice had the whole world at his feet. But it didn't take long for the backlash to come swinging. He caught heat from hip-hop purists who accused him of cultural appropriation. Arsenio Hall even famously called him out on national TV for lying about his past. Ice had claimed to be from Miami when he was really from Farmers Branch, Dallas. And in the rap world, authenticity is everything. Ice opens up about the lies.
Arsenio Hall show, at first I was a fan,
What you gonna do?
And then I became definitely not a fan of the show, especially after I did the show.
In all fairness to my audience, when you talk about Vanilla Ice, I was mad at Vanilla Ice before the interview started.
Thank
you. You have been embroiled in a lot of controversy. The press has been really hard on you lately, saying that you lie about your background.
I mean, that's all old news. I didn't lie about.
But I haven't interviewed you, so it's new news for my audience. So let's get into it.
I thought he was a little hard on me. He was venomous.
I've heard stories about me lying about where I came from and everything, and I never lied. Let me just tell you, when the record company creates all this stuff, bios around you, and they have your own publicists and everything, they create this image, okay? This image. And it's easy to hate on that image because it's a novelty act image, I was kind of thrown into this new kids with snot category,
Later, Ice explained the Miami lie. He wasn't trying to fake being from the streets. He was just insecure and wanted to blend in. I lived in Miami and wrote Ice Ice Baby about it, he said. Where I'm from? Who effing cares? He admitted he felt embarrassed about his real background and just wanted people to focus on the music, not where he was from. But critics didn't care. They ate him alive for it. Still, Ice kept grinding, and the hard work eventually paid off. Vanilla Ice wasn't someone who sat around waiting for a record deal to fall into his lap. He was obsessed with breakdancing, spending sleepless nights perfecting every move from breaking in Beat Street. While other kids were out partying, Ice was spinning on his head, battling broomsticks, and mastering the robot. He wasn't gifted anything. He earned his rep. Ice even started his own dance crew and would rake in $40 a day just breakdancing at the mall. That was more than what most of his rich friends got as an allowance. This dude dropped out of high school, never knew his real father, watched his mom go through marriage after marriage, and grew up hustling every single day. Lower middle class, random dead-end jobs. Just chasing a dream nobody believed in but him. I had no crystal ball, he said later. I just knew there was an energy around me, and I had to do something with it. And do something he did. By the late 80s, Vanilla Ice became a force on the Dallas scene, rapping and dancing anywhere that would let him perform. Open mics, malls, even motocross competitions. He was the only white kid battling in a mostly black scene and winning. Respect wasn't handed to him. He fought for it. He even had a near-death experience after being stabbed 5 times, losing 4 pints of blood and barely surviving. This wasn't some pampered industry plant story. Vanilla Ice had lived it. Big break, bigger enemies.
I got stabbed 5 times, got my main artery right here in my leg. I almost died. You only have 8 pints of blood, I lost 4.
Damn.
And it was in my friend's seat for 3 months after. It still didn't even dry up. Like, he had the sponge seat, underneath it, and it was in the seat when he took me to the hospital. My buddy Phil took me to the hospital. It was his fight. It wasn't even my fight. I didn't even know who this guy was. I was his passenger. And he's in the front yard of some dude's house. And he goes up and the dude comes out in his trench coat. And Phil runs like a, turns into the biggest in the world and runs. And I'm like, I'm standing there and I'm like, what the that shit? The dude was coming at him and he turns around and ran.
Huh.
This is my big ass Phil, man, the big dude. And the guy came at me. He goes, you want some of this, motherfucker? I go, I don't even know who you are. I don't know what this is, bro. What's going on? And motherfucker just standing there and he's yuck, yuck, yuck. Next thing I know, I turn around, I choke the dude. He's just a skinny dude, a little guy. And that's why I couldn't understand why Phil ran. I didn't see the knife. He ran because he had a knife. And Phil comes back after the dude's laughing. I beat the dude. He saw me. Phil, 2 houses down in the front yard looking at me. I'm fighting this dude. Didn't even know he was stabbing me. And I'm choking him, and I choked him out. Did one of those old UFC moves. I put him on the ground, and I just choked him out. I'm punching him in the face. I beat his ass. Skinny little dude. He was easy to beat up. I let him go. He's out, and I get up, and he's still on the ground, and he's laughing at me. I'm like, why are you laughing, dude? I just beat your ass. And I go to, I'm exhausted, so I put my hands like this, and my hand slipped off. And I go, what the? I looked at it, and it was blood everywhere, and he got my main artery here. It was just gushing out like some see out of the movies where just, an artery is main thing. It squirts out. And he got me in my ass cheek. He stabbed me across here. Got 47 stitches on my hand.
47 stitches.
From here, see it? Right here, all the way down to here. I mean, I got scars. There's the artery right there, dog. Not to show you my untanned leg. I don't wear tight shorts and that's where the knife went in right there. And I'll spare you the details of my ass, but
yeah, we don't need to see
there's
that.
The scar there. Scar stories, man. Nothing to it.
Okay.
After a breakout performance at City Lights, Ice caught the attention of major label scouts. Soon, business cards were flying his way like confetti. Public Enemy themselves even tried to get him signed to Def Jam through producer Hank Shockley. But ultimately, Ice inked a deal with SBK Records in 1990. And here's the shocker. While the world loved to bash him, major heavyweights in hip-hop respected his hustle. MC Hammer was blown away when Ice opened for him on his Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em tour. He admired that Ice stayed true to himself, rapping, dancing, and owning the stage without trying to mimic anyone. And even Tupac showed love, that's right. Tupac never trashed Vanilla Ice. In fact, Ice said Tupac even gave him advice and supported him when others threw shade. Imagine that. Tupac backed him. But Suge Knight, not so much.
But how did black artists treat you?
Great. That's where I'm, listen.
Like Tupac or Biggie or those guys?
Oh, good friends of mine. I was friends with Tupac way before he even blew up. When he was the Digital Underground. NWA, I was the opening act. Listen, I was the opening act for the opening act for the opening act for the opener for the opener when we did the Stop the Violence tour with NWA, Stetsa Sonic, EPMD, Sir Mix-a-Lot. So I was that kid out there, and they were great friends. They embraced me, man.
Tupac was all about keeping it real, and apparently he saw that in Ice. Unlike some haters, Tupac didn't accuse him of stealing culture or faking it. Instead, he encouraged him. Another reason Tupac stays goated, but not everyone had Ice's back.
Yeah, Tupac and I are good friends.
Yes.
Good dude. Gave me some of my greatest advice because he saw me going through hell with all the hatred and all the shit, and he stood up for me and said straight up, Ice, you're dope. He goes, I want you to know you're one of the great ones. You're dope. You're gonna leave your mark, your legacy, and this is before it happened. He knew it. This guy had a crystal ball.
Enter Suge Knight. And honey, this is where the story gets scary. The legendary rumor goes that Suge Knight, who managed a songwriter named Mario Chocolate Johnson, wanted his cut from Ice Ice Baby royalties. Johnson had allegedly written parts of the song, and Suge wasn't about to let that slide. How did Suge ask for his share? By dangling Vanilla Ice over a hotel balcony. Yes, you read that right. Allegedly, Suge grabbed Ice by the ankles, held him over the edge, and said, without saying a word, "You know what to do." Ice later downplayed it a little, saying Suge didn't actually dangle him. But he made it very clear. Suge showed up with a demand Ice couldn't refuse. Ice ultimately gave up 25% of the song's royalties just to stay alive. That's how cutthroat the game was.
That's not what he says at all.
I had my bodyguards who had guns, and they had their people which had guns, and they had us outpowered and outnumbered.
Talking publicly about it for the first time, Van Winkle describes a terrifying night in his suite at a Beverly Hills hotel when he says Suge Knight showed up with 6 other men.
roughed one of my bodyguards up. They roughed everybody else in my whole entourage up.
Vanilla Ice got the last laugh. But guess what? In the long game of life, it's Vanilla Ice who's laughing now. Suge Knight, sitting in prison, not eligible for parole until at least 2034, when he'll be pushing 70 years old. Meanwhile, Vanilla Ice, living his best life, successful, and still stacking millions. After the music industry nearly chewed him up, Ice pivoted hard. Reinvention, real estate. King.
For the real estate, I've been doing it for over 30-something years. I've been a GC. I went to design school, got a degree 18 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's why the TV show has 180 episodes and 13 seasons, is because we still just do it. I really do it. There's no fluff to my show, you know? I go to seminars all over the world, man. Anytime a seminar comes in, and I'll go to real estate seminars, I'll go to self-help seminars, I go to all kinds of things. I'm really clean. Like, I had a weekend, like you, I think, that lasted about 3 years, way back in my early 20s, and then I've been clean since, so it's been a long time, because I'm getting older.
Way before house flipping became trendy, Vanilla Ice saw the writing on the wall. He started investing in real estate in Florida, flipping homes, renovating mansions, and building a real empire brick by brick. While other former celebs were blowing through their money, Ice was out here turning his earnings into generational wealth. He even landed his own hit show, The Vanilla Ice Project, showcasing his talent for home design and renovation. Multiple seasons, tons of fans, proving he could reinvent himself without selling his soul. And now, the same industry that once tried to own him has to watch him win from the sidelines. Walking away was the best thing he ever did. Fans today say the smartest move Vanilla Ice ever made wasn't releasing Ice Ice Baby. It was walking away from the music industry when he smelled the rot. He refused to be a puppet. He refused to sell his soul for fame. He refused to become another cautionary tale of a star sacrificed for entertainment. Instead, he carved out his own legacy on his own terms. Sure, he took the long road. Sure, it cost him superstardom. But in the end, he kept his freedom, he kept his integrity, and he kept his life, which, honestly, might just be the biggest flex of them all. Final thoughts. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Vanilla Ice made the right choice leaving the music industry behind? How do you feel about those bombshell allegations about the higher-ups trying to drag him into the freak-off scene? Sound off in the comments below, because this story, it's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Hollywood's dirty secrets. And don't go anywhere, because the next expose we're about to drop, it's even crazier. Stay tuned, stay woke, stay unbothered. Woke, stay unbothered.